Hey everyone, my name is Jason, and today's going to be a little bit of a different video. I'm doing a game review of one of my past games. If you guys have been watching my series, you guys know I've been playing the Caro-Kann with the black pieces, and I've been having trouble with the end games, particularly. I tend to do okay in the opening, and then I lose in the end game. So I reached out to another content creator on YouTube by the name of Chess Centurion. I'll put his information in the description. I highly recommend you check out his channel if you want to learn the Caro-Kann opening. So I sent him a message with the link to my game asking if he'd be willing to review it. And he very kindly responded within a day with some notes for what I can do to improve my game. So I want to share those with you guys today and see if we can learn some things together. So here you'll see I have the chessboard, and down here I have the notes that he sent me. So we'll just go through them together as we go through the game. Most of the notes are relating to the end game, so I'm just going to go through the opening first, and then when we get there, we'll take a look at his notes. All right, so let's get into it. Opponent opened with e4. We did the normal Caro-Kann opening, c6 and d5. And we went into the advanced variation where we push the pawn, we put our bishop out, he goes c3, and this is all pretty normal still. We push our pawn, he checks us, and then we defend with the knight, and he doubles down and puts his bishop on b5. We put our queen to add a defender to this square. He develops. I put my pawn out here, so this is like another very pivotal moment that I kind of messed up here. He castles, and for some reason I like really tunnel visioned on only this pawn being able to take the bishop, and which like it clearly can't because then you'll lose the rook. But for some reason I just overlooked the fact that I can take it with the queen, and then I end up winning a piece. So I never took that, which is unfortunate, but I'm like the position was still pretty equal. He pushed his pawn. I put my queen up here, attacking the pawn and his queen. We trade. We trade some more. I castle kingside. I didn't like that. So I guess I should have kept my rook on this file and then brought this rook over. Okay. Okay, and here at this point we have one of the first notes, specific notes that I got. So I end up taking here with my bishop, and he said that's fine because after all these trades I end up winning this pawn. But his note was that I need to be more comfortable with holding the tension in the position. So not just taking right away, but holding on to the tension. So I have this bishop pair that's very powerful, holding these two diagonals. And this knight doesn't really have anywhere to go right now. So it could have been better just to keep these two bishops and not take right away. He was saying a better move for me would be to go rook c3. It maintains the tension and it improves my position, and it is it looks like it's the best move according to what the computer says. So let's see, what would that look like? So if I go rook c3, let's say he does still go f3. Well, what do I do there? I go check, g1. I bring this in. I still win the pawn, and everything's defended. So I maintain the tension. I still have the bishop pair, and I still win the pawn. So there was definitely a better way to go about that situation. I just wanted to keep things as simple as possible and trade down and win the pawn and play on from there. Okay, and the next example was on f6. So we did some trades, repositioned some pieces, did some more trades. Now both of us only have a rook. I'm up a pawn right now. That's on the edge of the board, which is unfortunate. But, okay, so I defend the pawn. He attacks it. I defend it. He starts bringing his king in the game. And this is the move that he mentioned wasn't very good. So I went f6. So he said, yeah, another example is f6. There's no need to trade off the pawns there. The white rook is immobilized because it's just covering this pawn. And so I don't really need to worry about his rook coming in to attack the pawns. I should just start bringing the king into the game. And then he just said the advanced Caro-Kann is great for black because after he pushes this pawn in the opening, both these pawns in the endgame end up being pretty weak, especially the d4 pawn. So after the d4 pawn falls, this one is likely to fall soon after. So he's saying basically my pawns were very strong as they were, and it would have been better to leave the pawn on f7 and start bringing the king into the game first, which makes sense. Another major one, I think this is like the big thing that I should have done, which is this move to this rook move to b4. If I go b4, he can take this pawn, and then I take this pawn, but now my rook is kind of freed up, and well, it says that's an inaccuracy. g5, huh? Well, anyway, my thought was to take this pawn because now this rook is no longer pinned defending this pawn, and my pawns are all protecting themselves basically, so I don't have to worry about, my rook is like freed up to work on other parts of the board. So I think that was a pretty important moment that I missed there. Okay, so then what happened was we traded these pawns after I went f6, and then I started bringing my king in, and the next mistake was when I went to king to e7. That's what he mentions here. King 7 is clearly a mistake, but the question is why? f4 is weakening for white. f4 is this pawn here, because I could have gone king g6, right, and then I go up here, forcing king g4 to stop king f5, which is clearly winning as f4 and d4 are so weak, and again you can sack the a pawn for the d pawn, also preparing e5. Right, so the better move would have been to bring the king up here, threatening to go up here and start attacking both these pawns, which is very powerful. So he has to pretty much go king g4, defending it. Okay, well, yeah, it doesn't make sense to bring my king up into here and not over to this side of the board. I don't know why I ended up going the queen side of the board when all my pawns were here and my rook was defending this pawn. So that is a good note. Yeah, and then the final thing he says, the issue is the whole end game, your rook was stuck defending a5, meaning the game was basically king and 4 versus king and 4, which is a draw. And yeah, so I think my main takeaway from this end game was I needed to find a way to free up this rook so it's not defending this, and to activate my king better. Focus on activating my king before pushing these pawns, because in the end game, king activity is so important. So the key moments, let's see, it was move 22 here, where I shouldn't have taken, well, I mean, it still works out if I take the knight there, but an option would have been to maintain the tension, not take this, improve the position by bringing this rook up. Next key position was, I think, 29, when I did f6, when instead I should have just started bringing my king into the game. And then also the option I had was to bring this rook up to b4, attacking the pawn. So yeah, the main thing I'm going to try to keep in mind moving forward is being okay with maintaining the tension in the position. I don't have to trade off right away, even if it simplifies it and makes it easier. Maybe if I'm low on time, that still makes sense, but playing 15-10, I have a decent amount of time, and when I'm ahead, I should just maintain the lead. And also, king activity. King activity is very important, so I can keep those things in mind. So yeah, I just want to say one more thank you to Chess Centurion. Thank you for reviewing the game. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. Make sure you guys check him out. He's a great resource if you guys want to learn the Caro-Kann. So yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. God bless. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.